Pat, you have told us that there is an imposter among us style.
That's right. I'm hitting the button in the middle. I'm calling an emergency meeting right now. Okay, and it's about Team Liquid. Okay, that's why I didn't want to speak up much when we were kind of pooping on them right there a minute ago. But Team Liquid, to me, are an imposter. They are a team that everybody looks at as S tier, and like, yeah, they're sitting at around like 15th or whatever, but they're a team that, like, if you look at them on paper, they look like they should be good. They deserve to be in the S tier. They deserve to be here going against these teams, but they're trash. They're literal trash. And I'm sorry, Elite, our American Warrior, but like, they're just trash. They don't deserve to be in S tier. I feel like they are just slowly rotting away into the tier 2. Like akin to a phase. I don't think they deserve to be here. They've somehow snuck their way in and have been able to cozy in the bottom half, and it's like everybody forgets they exist or something. They're absolute terrible. Ultimate is god awful 90% of the time. That's just facts. Shuhei, I don't even know if the man's gotten over 18 kills in the past 7 months, okay?
Probably not.
Naf, well, I don't even know what's going on with this situation. He's out, he's back in. Are we getting rid of him? Are we not getting rid of him? Who knows? Elige, America's sweetheart, but dude, he's good sometimes though. Sometimes he's good. And you have that old Elige back from like 2018, you know, that old school. And then other times he just looks like an old man out there who can't shoot for nothing.
I like the phase.
It's just sad.
I like the phase comparison. I think that they are basically the same as phase without the content. They're more of your like the Liquid name. That's why everybody looks at them and says like, oh, they should be competing because like this is Team Liquid and they compete in a lot of esports. But I look at it and this team kind of looks like like we always say with FaZe, kind of like a retirement home. All these people are a little bit past their prime. They're kind of has-been players, but they're players that when you would look at their roster, you would think, dang, this is kind of a good team. They should be a tier 1 team. But when you watch them actually play, they just can't get it done in the big events now.
It's crazy to me. I was just pulling this up. The last time that Liquid won,
dude, it's so long,
was ESL Pro League Season 11, which is the first event that was affected by the COVID-19 outbreak.
Yeah, I was gonna say it
played
was like
online
in the teens.
The players on this were Naf, Elige, Twist, Stewie 2K, and Nitro.
Yeah. Throwback.
Has been a minute. They did beat an EG at that point though, and that EG team was of a Stanislaus EG team. So I mean, it's been a few minutes.
Yeah.
And I mean, they just have not been good since. And we talked about this at the midpoint of last year. They went on a death spiral after the major. And then they got to the point where they were on the literal cusp of not even being able to qualify for events. They were going to be so far down in VRS and world ranking, they weren't going to get to go to anything. And then as the best farewell present imaginable, Twiz carried them on a generational run to secure them enough points now so they could slowly lose it all again and fall back off of a cliff.
Who's going to carry them now is what I think about. Like, it might be
David Goggins, who's bringing the boats, man. It's none of you guys. I'm surprised it was Twist, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, that was an impressive feat, and Ultimate didn't look bad for half of an event.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Those 2 to 3 events from Twiz were like actually insane with how bad that he was playing before those events for Liquid, and then to carry Liquid in their last event, and then also jump on FaZe and carry them as well through the first couple. It was like kind of a miraculous turnaround, but it's like we're kind of right back to where he was before the move now.
It's unfortunate. So what do you do, Pat? So when we are fixing this imposter, because Team Liquid, as much as we don't want them to, and as much as their little logo has a European flag on it, we still accept them as our American brethren. Yeah. So you put on your Star-Spangled Banner, thought line here. How are we fixing the squad? What do we do?
Honestly, I don't know how we fix the squad. I mean, if we could just tear apart some of the other teams, okay? So I think we keep Elige and everybody else is gone, okay? And we're gonna need some new IGLs. I don't know who that's gonna be, but if we take from others part, I can see we get a Lake. So we take Lake off of M80, put them on here, okay?
Or we're making it American though, right? We gotta get.
Yeah, we're bringing it back to the USA, the red, white, and blue. Okay.
Lake and Swisher.
I don't hate that.
Swisher could work. We could even bring OC in over here.
I don't hate OC.
Pop off. Just the IGL.
Yep. This is where it becomes a little bit.
We don't have to stay American for that.
So then, we don't have to stay American.
Yeah, we only need 3 to be considered American.
Dude, we'll just get Kerrigan when they get blown up.
I don't think Kerrigan and Leach like them. I'm reading the room. I'm going to assume they're not that close of allies.
Yeah, he wasn't friends enough for the Friends clan.
Yeah,
he got kicked off. So I don't know who our last spot could be for our IGL, but maybe we'll gladly accept Kixon when he gets kicked off of Falcon.
Hey, that wouldn't be
I
bad.
still think that's an upgrade.
That's an upgrade.
All right, it's an upgrade.
I wouldn't mind an Alexi B, but it'd be hard to get him. He's actually a pretty highly rated player. I do think though it's weird.
Get Apex.
It's weird because TL is an org that feels like it should be competing with Na'Vi. It feels like if you were a player on Na'Vi, going to TL wouldn't be a death sentence. It should be the same for G2. It should be the same for a lot of those like 5 through 15 windows. It should feel like, hey, if you're on G2 and you go to Na'Vi, that doesn't feel that bad. Like maybe it's not a Falcons jump or maybe it's not a Vitality jump. But like it probably doesn't feel that bad.
Yeah.
But right now, I feel like if anybody's going to TL, they don't feel good about it. They don't. This might be the
Where
end
dreams
of the road.
go to die.
Yeah, this might be the end of the road.
But like you said, that's a name, and we talked about it earlier too. Like Team Liquid's a name that you expect to be winning. When you look at them in other esports, they're at the very top. They're the upper echelon of teams, and they're just not there right now.
Yeah. And I was pulling it up. The event that they did well in, they basically got 3rd through 4th at the Fissure Playground 2, which was the first event that Fury was able to win. Now, they did lose to the Mongols in the semis, but the run that they went on, they went 0-2 to start that event. And this is, again, if they go knocked out of here and you lose Twiz, this is basically the end of your tenure. You are no longer getting invited to anything. Then they were able to beat Heroic, Tyloo, and then knock out the phase where Twiz was going. That was a sick map. And then they first rounded the Aurora squad. I could not imagine, as inconsistent as Aurora is, that this team can beat Aurora.
No, I agree.
No, yeah, not happening.
And that's not good because Aurora can lose to, it feels like nobody.
Exactly. It had to be an insane miracle run based off of
Which
just
that's kind of an insane. I would expect Liquid to beat all those teams. The miracle and the insane part to me is the fact that they were able to get all those teams consecutively in a row.
Yeah, totally.
Like Heroic, Tyloo, FaZe. It's a cupcake bracket.
Hey, happens.
It is Fissure Playground.
It is Fissure Playground. That was kind of, at the time of Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I want to see more out of Liquid. I don't want this to be the end, but it feels like we're pretty close to the end. But hey,
for sure. That's why changes are meant to happen. That's what off seasons and all this stuff is meant to be.
And remind me again, what did they do in the off season with this roster that was very tumultuous?
Nothing.
Okay.
But now they're maybe doing something with now.
Maybe, allegedly.
Maybe.
He kind of didn't, and then he did, but then...
Maybe they thought that would make him, be good again.
Yeah, hey, we're going to fire you if you don't. Well, I quit. Oh, we didn't see that coming. Can you come back?
He was a top 20 player at one point.
He was, and that one point was probably...
back when you only had to drop 10 kills to be in the top 20.
Hey.
Times have changed.
Hey,
old
gets
man.
there.